What up, earthlings?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Marin and welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I quit smoking marijuana and the benefits that it's had in my life since I've quit. Now, let me just throw this out there. I never in a million years thought I would ever be sitting here making this video. I thought I was going to be smoking weed till the day I died. I defended weed till the day I died. Like, I would get so defensive if anyone talked any kind of crap about weed. I'm surprising myself these days with the things that I am accomplishing in my life, but just know that I am no way, shape, or form bashing marijuana. I still think it's a very beneficial plant. I think that it has numerous health benefits, especially in the oil form, especially for like seizures and Parkinson's and treating types of cancers. And I just think it's a very beneficial plant. With all that being said, I have recently quit. I'm about 2 months sober from weed, and if you want to hear about why I quit and benefits that have happened in my life since I have quit, then just keep watching. So just a quick little backstory with me and marijuana. I've smoked from the time I was about 15 until a couple months ago, so a while. I had a solid run with it, and it definitely just became a big, huge part of my life. And I never thought I was going to quit smoking weed. I always said I was going to be that 90-year-old lady still toking on her bong, but here I am, 2 months sober and feeling great and loving life. Now, like I said, I do think that marijuana has its place here on this planet. It's Mother Nature grown. I think that it's very beneficial in certain diseases, and the medicinal benefits are undeniable. There's so much research out there about the proven benefits that it has on so many illnesses. I think it's a very amazing plant when it comes to medicinal purposes, and I think that it can also have its place in day-to-day use as well. But like anything in life, I think sometimes you just grow out of things. So, like everything else that I was doing in my life, I have an addictive personality. If you're familiar with my video on my alcoholism that I've overcame and how I quit that, if you haven't checked that out, but I talk about how I have an addictive personality. So, like everything else in my life, I was taking it to the extreme. And like I said, I've been smoking since I was about 15 years old, and I was smoking a lot. I mean, there were definitely periods of time where I slowed down or maybe took some breaks, but the last 5 years I was smoking from the time I got up, from the time I went to bed, just constantly. There wasn't a time in the day when I wasn't high. And I would always say, you know, well, I'm not really high, it's just like smoking a cigarette for me. But I can see now where it was affecting my life and it was affecting my personality. And I am a firm believer that it can open up parts of the mind, and I do think that it has its benefits, and I do think that it has properties of helping one along their awakening journey, and I think that it can make you creative, and I think that it holds a place. So there's this really great article that I read, I'll link it below, which pretty much laid out exactly what I was feeling. The person that wrote that was spot on with how I was feeling about weed. And I think that sometimes you just outgrow things and they no longer serve you. I do think that weed was a huge part of my awakening. I think that it helped open my mind to these universal truths. I think that it definitely sparked creativity inside of me, and I think that it definitely helped me with anxiety and stress. It definitely helped me when I was quitting alcohol, but I was again using it as a crutch, because in times of stress and in times where you need to lean back on something, that's when you really need to think, well, why am I relying on a substance? Because that issue that's in the back of your mind is still going to be there. By smoking or drinking or whatever substance of choice, you're just basically slapping a band-aid on it and pushing that issue to the side until it pops up again, and then it pops up again, and then you're just using a substance to cover it temporarily again. And that's not getting to the root cause of anything. So as far as I'm concerned, there's been no documented deaths or really health issues from marijuana. People can debate back and forth about that. If you want to look into it, go for it. I'm not here to start an argument or a debate about it. Like I said, I think it has its place medicinally. I think that it has its place non-medicinally as well. But it depends on where you are in your spiritual journey. And I think for me, it did help me in a lot of areas, but it also was holding me back because I noticed that it started to really put me in my shell. I always thought I was just a shy person, but it was really every time I smoked that I started to think things differently. And maybe it was always doing this to me, but I noticed it a lot more recently once I quit drinking. It just started affecting me a lot differently. I could be sober for an extended period of time and be very outgoing and talk to strangers and be fine. And the second I smoked, I almost felt like stupid showing emotion. I almost just felt like I was embarrassed to show any kind of love or happiness or just any kind of emotion, and it really was putting me in my shell. I would just feel just stupid being around other people. And I think that it started affecting me differently once I quit drinking is because, and this is another thing this article that I will link down below talks about, and I just found it such a fascinating article. You should definitely check it out if you're contemplating quitting. But everything holds a vibrational frequency. If you're on my channel, then you probably are already familiar with that type of sentence that I'm saying. Everything holds a vibrational frequency. And as I do think marijuana is a high vibrational plant, so I think that if you're lower than that and smoking makes you feel good, it raises your vibration, and that's why you enjoy smoking. As you progress along your spiritual journey, you can start vibrating higher than that. So when I quit drinking alcohol and started taking care of my body, and I was quitting all of these nasty habits, I started to rise above the plant's vibration. And then every time I was smoking, I was lowering my vibration back down to the plant. So I wasn't able to expand and grow as a person. It was just keeping me stagnant in the same spot. Now, if you're fine with where your life is at and you don't want to move forward, that's fine. That's one of the downsides about smoking weed, is that it makes you very comfortable. But sometimes being too comfortable can be a bad thing because you're not reaching further for your goals. You're too comfortable in one place and you don't grow from comfort. You're just staying in the same place and you're not exploring the potential that you have in this world. So that's when I really started to notice it affected me different, was when I quit drinking. And I think when I quit drinking and started working out and started eating healthy, I was raising my vibration so much that when I smoked, I was just lowering it. And I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling happy. I noticed I was tired all the time. I was smoking so much to the point where when I woke up in the morning, I would have the weed hangover and I would just be tired and cranky and moody, and I wouldn't wake up feeling refreshed. And I just started to notice that it wasn't making me feel happy anymore. And I was like, why am I even doing this if I'm not feeling happy? And I was just like, I don't want to have to rely on a substance for happiness anyways. And especially if something's not making me happy anyways, why am I even doing it? So I started researching benefits of what happens to the body when you quit smoking. So that's why I quit. I just noticed I had lack of motivation. I was tired all the time, and it was really putting me into my shell. So I just really feel like it has served its purpose in my life because it really opened up my mind during my awakening to be open and accepting to all these things I was learning about universal truths and about what's really going on behind the scenes. But I definitely think I outgrew it, and it no longer serves a purpose for me personally. So that is why I chose to quit. So now I'll just get into some of the benefits that it's had on my life since I quit and what happened directly after I quit. So like I said, it's been probably a little over 2 months since I quit smoking. The first week was rough, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't sleep very well, and when people say that you don't physically get addicted to weed, I would have to say I beg to differ on that one, because for me, I woke up in the middle of the night for a solid week sweating my ass off. Like, I had the night sweats bad. I would wake up freezing, but I would be covered in sweat, like to the point where my sheets were soaking wet. Like, it looked like there was water dumped on me. I was sweating that bad. And that happened for at least 7 days. So I was having trouble falling asleep and staying asleep because I just kept waking up having to change my clothes or having to turn off the AC or turn it on or turn on the heat because I was hot and it was cold. And it was really, I think, just my body purging all of that THC out of my system that I'd been pumping in it for so many years. Another thing was I definitely had mood swings. Even when I was a chronic smoker, like I was always crabby. If I ran out and didn't have weed, like everybody needed to watch out because I was just so on edge and I was like, oh, I haven't smoked yet today, I'm crabby, blah, blah. And that for me was another trigger, like I should probably quit this because if I'm relying on something for my happiness that's not my own genuine happiness, then there's a deeper issue there that I'm just covering with a band-aid by smoking that's not really getting to the root cause. It's just a temporary feeling of happiness because again, weed gives you that temporary dopamine rush and I wasn't getting that. And I was cranky. So recently in the past when I've been on like vacations and stuff where I didn't smoke or I didn't have any, I noticed that my appetite would go away and like the thought of eating and even just like taking a bite of food made me physically nauseous. That didn't happen to me this time, and I don't know if it's because before when I didn't have it I was still drinking alcohol and maybe like a hangover had something to do with that, but I never lost my appetite this time around. It also could be the fact that I work out pretty hard in the gym, I don't know, but I never lost my appetite. I still was able to eat, food still sounded good and appealing to me. So that one personally never happened to me this time around. It definitely had in the past, but I was definitely able to eat still. So like I said, the sleep was difficult at first. Now I have a normal sleeping schedule. I get tired at a normal time at night and I wake up and I don't have that groggy morning brain fog where you just kind of feel heavy and drained, like you could sleep for another 10 hours and then you sleep more and then you just end up feeling more tired. And it's great waking up and just having tons of energy and not feeling that brain fog. Other things that have improved is my motivation. I feel like my creativity is back, and I know for a lot of people weed can bring out that creativity, but then maybe the plant is still serving you in some way, shape, or form. But I just noticed since it was no longer serving me, it was just making me lazy and unmotivated. And like you know, I stopped making videos for a year. Also, that had a lot to do with me drinking. But the smoking, like whenever I would plan to make a video, I would get high and then I would feel stupid talking to the camera. Like I just wouldn't have any motivation and I'd be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I would say I'll do it tomorrow the next day. And I just kept procrastinating and it just started to make me lazy. And in the past, weed actually gave me energy and made me want to do things, but as of lately it just started making me really unmotivated and almost kind of paranoid. And like I said, it was bringing me into my shell. It was just making me be very much more introverted than I think that I am. And it was just, it wasn't me. I just felt like this person who I was when I smoked was a different Marin, and I just didn't feel like I was genuinely feeling like my happy self anymore. So I definitely feel way more motivated now. I wake up with tons more energy and I just feel more alive, and I don't feel like I have to take 6 naps in the middle of the day because I'm coming down from my high. You know what I mean? So definitely have more energy. Obviously, you save a lot of money. Weed costs money and it's not that cheap. And I don't even want to know the amounts that I've spent over all these years of smoking, but I know it's been a lot. And it's crazy just cutting out that, like, I have so much extra cash on hand on me all the time now, and it's great because now I'm spending it on gym memberships and superfoods, and I can shop at the organic grocery stores, which I am absolutely in love with and obsessed with now. And like, that's what I love spending my money on, things that are actually serving my body a purpose and making me feel good, instead of spending money on something that was just kind of lowering my vibration and bringing me down. So another thing I wanted to touch base on, like I said, I always thought I was just a shy person, but I was smoking since I was 15, so I never really knew who I was without it. So I just feel like in these last couple months, I'm so much more outgoing and less anxious and paranoid in social situations than I've ever been in my entire life. And this also goes in with the non-drinking thing too, because my body is just, I'm finally coming into my own and realizing who I am. But without smoking, I can go anywhere and have no problem starting up a conversation with a complete stranger, and I don't have any paranoia in the back of my head, and I'm not overthinking. You know, sometimes how when you smoke, you think things in your head like before you say them, and you just overthink everything, and you think like everybody in the world is staring at you and judging you, and they're really not. And I have no issues with going out into public places and striking up a conversation with a complete stranger, and it's so easy for me now, whereas before when I was smoking, it was just bringing me into this weird shell where I felt stupid even having any emotion at all. Yeah, so I definitely feel like I'm much more of an extrovert, and I think that my real true personality is definitely coming out more and more every day since I've quit. Obvious things like I can breathe better when I'm working out, more lung capacity. I have read in the past that there's been no studies that shown that weed has ever caused lung cancer, but obviously all that smoke, you're building up tar in your lungs, like the resin that you get in your bowl. I'm pretty sure that's going into your lungs. So I just feel like I can breathe better, I can run longer, even though I'm not a big fan of cardio, but I can just tell in the gym when I'm working out that I just have better lung capacity and breathing better, and I'm not coughing up black blobs of lung biscuit shit in the mornings, and I'm not coughing all the time. Any kind of smoke that you're putting into your lungs is probably not beneficial. There's debate on that one as well when it comes to marijuana smoke, but I personally can tell the difference in my breathing, and when I'm working out, I can breathe better, I have better lung capacity, and it's just easier for me to breathe when I'm doing like a high intensity workout. Another benefit that it could personally have for you is eating habits. I know obviously one of the side effects of marijuana is the munchies. After a while, I feel like it really didn't give me the munchies anymore. Sometimes it actually took my appetite away. I know for a lot of people it can give you the munchies, and if you're trying to eat healthy and watch what you're eating, and maybe you're on a specific diet for a specific reason, it's going to be a lot harder to do if you're smoking, because then you're getting those munchies, and then you want something salty, then you want something sweet, then you want something salty, and you don't get that trigger to your brain stomach that you're full, and you just keep eating, and you tend to overeat if marijuana gives you the munchies. So obviously that would be something that would improve in your life if you're trying to get healthier or eat healthier foods or watch what you're eating. It's going to be a lot easier if you're not getting the munchies from smoking. So these are just a few things. Like I said, I never thought I would quit smoking. I definitely think it has its place medicinally. I definitely still think it's a high vibrational plant, but sometimes you end up vibrating higher and you outgrow things that no longer serve you, and it's just nice to be able to realize when something is no longer serving you. So if you're somebody who's been contemplating quitting, I suggest you just give yourself 30 days. Just 30 days without it, you can do it, and track how you feel. If you don't feel any change at all and maybe you feel depressed, maybe the plant was still serving you in some way. But if you start feeling better and more motivated and happier overall, maybe it's time to give it up for good. And I'm not saying I'll never, ever, ever smoke again, but right now, I honestly don't have a desire to. I just really don't. And I just feel like, why would I do something that's going to lower my vibration when I keep trying to raise mine every day? Like, I'm quitting bad habits and I'm introducing new good habits that are raising my vibration every day. So I don't see why I would take a step backwards. I just really don't have any desire to smoke ever again, but I'm never going to say never, because you never know where life will lead you. I don't have anything against weed. I used for a long time. It's just no longer serving me. And another thing I want to throw out there is, once I started quitting these bad habits, it's amazing how much easier it is to manifest things in my life, because I'm no longer lowering my vibration and staying stagnant. I'm raising my vibration, and when you're at a higher frequency, you start manifesting things at a higher frequency. Like, I just feel like so many good things keep falling into my lap since I'm quitting things that no longer serve me. So if you feel like you're stuck and you aren't manifesting the life you want to live, figure out what's no longer serving you in your life, cut it out, and replace it with higher vibrational things that are going to serve you. So those are just a couple things that have happened to me since I've quit. Definitely check out the article that I'm going to link below if you're contemplating quitting, because I think it's really good and it really hit home for me. It really resonated with me. So check that out, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment below, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and to all my lovers out there, I send you love and light. And to all my haters out there, I send you love and light and many hugs. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, Earthlings. Bye.